This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Thank you, Chris. Welcome to DBL, everyone. It's Wednesday, May 12th. I am Tori here with my good pals, Lindsay and Al.
Welcome back. We missed you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be seated in the seat and to talk about the issues you all are talking about. Like this, have you ever had to risk losing everything to stand up for what you believe in? Well, that's exactly what's happened to Representative Liz Cheney. She was the #3 Republican in the House, but after a vote this morning, she's lost the post. She's also risking losing her spot in Congress, and despite all that, Liz stood her ground and gave a very passionate speech defending her position last night. So here's some of what she had to say.
This is not about policy. This is not about partisanship. This is about our duty as Americans. Remaining silent and ignoring the lie emboldens the liar. I will not participate in that. I will not sit back and watch in silence while others lead our party down a path that abandons the rule of law and joins the former president's crusade to undermine our democracy.
Big words. So we want to go to make this about you guys and make it personal. Would you ever risk losing your livelihood and everything you've worked for in order to stand up for what you believe in? And is that fair to the people who depend on you? So I'm going to look at you guys and ask you personally, have you ever done that or wanted to and never had? And do you think Liz Cheney is a hero for doing this or a fool?
Lindsay, I'm going to hear you.
I was like,
Tori, just stop talking.
I was like, who do you want to go first? I think that she's a hero because I think for most of my adult life, I wanted to be likable really bad. I wanted people to like me.
I know that
especially
feeling.
at work. And so I never really spoke up. I just was like, how can I be the best employee, no matter if that means sacrificing what makes me comfortable? And I think in like the last 3 years, I've been really comfortable with just saying no, with just saying what doesn't feel right, with speaking up for people that are in my position 5 years ago that are uncomfortable speaking up and maybe speaking on their behalf if they ask me to. And so I think that I get why, she's doing this, because I was just talking to my dad about this when I saw him recently, and he was just like, you're never going to be upset that you lost an opportunity because you spoke up for how you felt about what's real to you, as opposed to if you just stayed silent and like, hey, I need the money.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's like a hard line where I am now as more of an adult.
So that changed about 3 years ago for you?
Yeah, I would say 3 years ago, about 3 years ago, because it had something to do with just things that people weren't aware of at my last job about race and being a black woman in the workplace. And so I was in a position where it's like, if I don't speak up, I'm going to be uncomfortable, and then I don't care who comes behind me, but they're going to be made to be uncomfortable again and have to be the person to speak up.
Wow, interesting. Al?
Of course. You know, there are times, even going back to my childhood, where I saw people being bullied and I didn't say anything because I was scared. You know, because you don't want that heat on you. It happens in the workplace, not here, but places that you work. You see things that aren't necessarily happening to you, especially I'm a guy, so things don't necessarily happen to me. But I remember seeing things early in my career in stand-up, especially coming from teaching, that were like things that should have been happening in the 1800s.
Yeah. And
if I told you, you guys wouldn't believe me. And so I appreciate it. I know people that stood up then, and people lost their jobs. This life isn't a movie. And you're not always going to be like, and Lindsay changed everything. It might be that Lindsay lost her job. A couple of years later, the person that fired her then loses their job, and then they promote somebody with more progressive views. But Lindsay's not around to see those changes. And sometimes it's unpleasant, but it's taken people standing up for the reason that the three of us are on this panel right now.
That's a very, very good point. I always love the quote, if you're neutral in situations of injustice, you've chosen the side of the oppressor. Because being silent is a choice in some respects. Now, I was raised in D.C., and I was raised to use my voice. And to be honest, I used it too much. Okay, like I overdid it a little bit too much. But in college, I was 2000, 2001, all the guys would use the F word for someone who was gay. And it was very common at my college, very. And I refused to let that be in my conversation. And I would simply say, come up with a better word. Think of a better word. I know you're smarter than that. Come up with a better word. Think of something else. And I was blackballed from fraternities. I mean, I just had a miserable time. They called me just the worst. And you do take a hit. You do take a hit. But at some point, you have to decide what your legacy will be. And I think Liz Cheney will have a good one, in my opinion. If you disagree, though, we would love to hear your stories, personal or otherwise. Well, it's been more than a year now that we've all been wearing these masks everywhere we go. Sorry.
Why do you still have the worst first mask?
I broke it, and it's the worst one. Finally, all around the country, restrictions are easing, and people are finally ditching the masks. But not everyone. In fact, a lot of people who say they've been traumatized over the past year are clinging to them, and still others are wearing them out of an abundance of caution. So what behaviors from the past year are you sticking with? And how are you prepared to stop wearing masks around people, friends, coworkers, or strangers? I can't go to the grocery store. I can't anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Not that I was there a lot before. Let's be super honest.
Right.
But like,
Your
I
meal
can't
sent
go.
to
Okay,
you.
easy there. Okay, but I can't go. I can't.
I feel like I got used to, when sometimes you make all these after work plans and then you're like, I don't really want to do that. Well, they haven't happened for a year and a half.
And you're like,
as much as I miss people, I miss people on the weekends. And so I'm regretting the idea of somebody inviting me somewhere on a Tuesday, and I'm like, I can't come up with a reason really. Well, I guess I can, the baby now, but
Yeah, use the baby. Totally.
But after that, it's like, okay, we're back to regular on weekdays. And I was already a grandma. Now I'm such a grandma.
But you said also,
That's
Lindsay,
good,
that you didn't want the subway trains in New York would freak you out.
Oh, yeah, but even I was at an outdoor wedding, and people were just, even at arm's distance, I was like, hey, back up. And, and I feel comfortable. Everybody had a mask on, but I still was like, back up. So I would never be on a train, I think, in the next year at all, or anywhere that's like a smush space.
I mean, I think that makes sense. I mean, speaking about, things that you can't really get out of, my buddy Vince is a drummer for Zoo. They're a pretty popular band. And I went to go see him last night. And at about 10:30, I realized that I'm 43 years old. I was cold, my feet, I was looking at my homeboy drumming in front of Red Rocks, and like I was so proud of him, and I was like, I'm ready to go. Like I had backstage passes and went right to the parking lot. So there's a point where
when you skip backstage,
so Lindsay, I definitely feel like you're like, I just kind of want to be at home. But there are other people, I feel like Tori, that are ready for those rooftop parties. So like it takes a balance.
Yeah. Now someone just wrote in, I'm going to keep wearing my mask because it helps with allergies. And I also know a lot of people wrote in they'll be wearing on planes. They'll never not wear one.
I used to laugh at people on planes that were, I'm like, what are you doing?
And now
and now I'll never probably go on a plane without one.
That's right. All right, by now you've all probably heard about the tiger, not Tiger Woods, but the tiger prowling a Houston neighborhood. But it turns out that it's not only the big cat that's on the loose. In China, 3 leopards got away from a safari park, and officials didn't tell the public for more than a week. Now there's a massive hunt happening because one of the cats is still on the loose. Now Chinese officials have used hundreds of drones and this guy, a worker in a powered parachute, to try and find the missing leopard.
I think he was just in that and just happened to be like, oh, I'm looking for the leopard. That was the worst piece of equipment. That looked like the second thing the Wright brothers tried before they got to a plane. That was embarrassing. That's not going to find any.
It's what the wrong brothers chose.
Yes, that was embarrassing. But yeah, Lindsay, what do you think about all these tigers getting out?
I don't like this. I don't understand. And I don't understand not warning the public. Like, hello, if I saw that thing in my yard, I don't own a gun, so I would be very uncomfortable. If you run, they're going to kill you. Like,
I would rather the public know than not know, but I do have to say a lot of people wrote in about the tigers and wanted to say that owning tigers and big cats is awful for the cat's life, and I want to say I am very much against that and for the Big Cat Protection Act that actually Carol Baskin
Tori,
has proposed.
You're a dog person. You know what I thought about with this tiger story is not even just like, there's certain dog breeds, like to get a greyhound and have it in an apartment is cruel. Like those, they need to run. They need acres to go, so even certain dog breeds that are very energetic, they need space. So like having a tiger that's used to having, where are tigers in the jungle? Are they the ones in the jungle?
There's tigers in the jungle, in the safari.
I need a resolution to this story in Texas. I know it's been 3 days. Like, is this man going to jail? I know he might have murdered somebody, allegedly. There's a lot going on with this dude in Texas, and we have no resolution. Like, can the police not find him or the tiger?
Yeah, we need a cat. We need a cat close up. We need closure on the cat.
Right. This is ridiculous.
Cat closure is what we need. All right. Let us know how you would feel. Coming up on DBL, a week of your favorite 80s stars continues with Candace Cameron Bure, and we're asking her the question on everyone's mind. Yep, Lori Loughlin. We went there. And like something out of a movie, a 28-year-old woman poses as a high school student, how she got caught and why she did it. That's coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by.
As many people continue to get their COVID-19 vaccine shots, some want to know what else it impacts. Bob Satterfield emailed the Verify team with this question.
After being fully vaccinated for COVID-19, does donating blood diminish the vaccine's effect?
With Verify, we tell you our sources first. We talked with Dr. John Wary from the Penn Institute of Immunology and Dr. Karen Rausch from the Methodist Health System's Department of Pathology. When you get your COVID-19 vaccine, your immune system responds by producing plasma cells, which act as huge factories that continuously make antibodies. You have about 5 liters of blood in your body. Let's use these 1-liter bottles to illustrate. When you donate blood, that only takes out 450 milliliters, or less than half of 1 bottle. This isn't enough to have any impact on the vaccine shot's effectiveness.
While you may lose some of the antibodies in your blood, a very small percentage, the important cells that are making those antibodies stay put.
And in some cases, a phenomenon called rebound can happen where your body actually makes more antibodies after you donate blood.
The body's very good about re-levelizing once something happens to it, and that's certainly the same case for blood donation.
So we can verify, donating blood does not impact the effectiveness of your COVID-19 vaccine shot.
Welcome back to our DBL coworkers. A big shout out to them tuning in from home during the pandemic. What's up, Kelly Schuberth? We miss you and your cackle.
Oh, that's my girl.
Oh, I miss Kelly. All right, well, we want to talk about something really weird that happened in Miami. This woman allegedly posed as a student and went around to high school handing out flyers to try and gain social media followers. Here's the thing, though. She's 28 years old. She was arrested and charged with trespassing. Now, as strange as this all sounds, it got us talking. Would you ever go back
Wait,
to...
Tori, that's probably how they knew she was old. She's handing out flyers.
I know.
Like, my kids have never touched paper before. Like, how? Like, they're like, all right, here's a boomer right here.
Here's a brochure.
Let's copy up some Xeroxes.
Yeah, no one knows what. You want to fax that to me? Would you, if you went back to high school, and if you did, what would you want to change? If you could change anything, we're doing a little back to the future right here. 88 miles per hour in that DeLorean. So we're going to start with Lindsay in high school, and we're going to go see what Lindsay looks like in high school. Let's take a look.
What are these pictures? Okay.
Told you.
What are doing?
I'm not laughing
Let
at
me
you.
tell you, I would never want to go back to high school. It was probably my most awkward stage.
it?
I was chubby until probably like 9th grade, and then I finally started to look like not a roly-poly. And so now I'm back to roly-poly. No, but I would tell myself to just calm down. I think I wanted to fit in so bad that I was not okay with being different and awkward, and like everything that made me who I am as an adult. And so I think that I would just not want to go back, but I appreciate the moments.
Even for social media followers. Got it.
No, definitely not for social media followers.
Making sure. All right, let's take a look all the way back. Do we have a black and white of this for Al? Let's go all the way back. There we go.
Al, that's suit size.
That suit jacket, first of all, that would be inappropriate on somebody that's about to be drafted by the NBA.
Shaq's jacket, dude.
I don't know why. Why? You can't even see
Steve
where
Harvey's.
they end. But that was me going to homecoming, so that's me. Like, that's my best outfit right there. So,
Wow.
Well, it's double-breasted. You don't see the arms. You look like you've melted. What's happening, and what would you change?
What would I change? I hope that I grow 6 inches at homecoming. No, I think it's kind of what Lindsay said. I just wish that somebody would have told me, you have such a full life coming. Don't work so hard. And I feel like I still know people that focus so much on high school that after high school, it was almost like they peaked.
Yeah, glory days.
And they're chasing that, like, and they're still talking about stuff that happened. You're like, no, that was 25
Right,
years
nobody
ago.
wants to.
Yeah, so it's like, I think we need to tell kids to look forward. High school is just, you're just
forward.
in a box with strangers for 4 years.
It's weird.
Tori?
All right, we got Tori in high school. Here's me at prom.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I kind of peaked.
No, you look the same, Tori.
Good collarbones, good clavicle.
That picture could be from any era in history.
It could be
That's
from,
a classic photo right there.
It could be Little House on the Prairie, or it could be in the future.
Where were you going in this?
I was going to prom.
Okay.
I need to see more of your outfit, because me and Al looked crazy. I look like a flight attendant, and Al looked like a Steve Harvey suit. And you have just a nice scoop neck on that could be from any era. We need more of the outfit.
Bow neck. But I will say this. I was very, very, very hard on myself. And for any one of you that's hard on yourself right now, just know 2 words that a lot of us don't know. Self compassion. I didn't know what it meant, never experienced it. I didn't dip a toe in it. I was hard on myself. I hated myself. I wanted to be popular. I wanted to be liked. Never did I think of accepting and being compassionate.
When did that change for you really quickly? I know
in 2000, long time, 2011, I started reading about Buddhism, and they said, if you are practicing compassion and you aren't feeling it for yourself, it is incomplete. And I thought, I have never touched that.
Wow.
So that's what I would tell myself. Also, good look, Tor. Yeah?
Yeah,
Coming up on DBL, we're talking to Full House star Candace Cameron Bure. She's dishing on the spicy, and I mean spicy secret to a long-lasting marriage. It's good. It's coming up next.
Some companies are scoring big as we see an end to the coronavirus pandemic on the horizon. Those big winners include diet companies. Let's connect the dots. During the COVID quarantine, some of us used that time to hop onto Pelotons or dust off the home gym equipment. Meanwhile, the rest of us turned to comfort food and an extra bottle of wine. A small study found that people who were sheltering in place gained more than a half a pound every 10 days. Now all of us sweatwear Netflix watchers are realizing it's time to put on real pants again. And when that doesn't go well, they're turning to diet plans. That means programs like Noom, which does customized health plans starting at $59 a month, and Weight Watchers, known as WW International, are seeing a big boom in business. Companies that do meal replacement plans are seeing shortages of the most popular foods. That means out-of-stock snacks are going for big bucks on eBay. But experts warn most of these diets can be beneficial in the short term. If you want to keep off your pandemic pounds off for the long term, you have to make realistic changes to your diet and lifestyle. That means retraining how you think about food and hunger, which is a longer commitment than the quick fix diets.
Welcome back to DBL. Candace Cameron Bure has been a household name since playing DJ Tanner on Full House. Years later, she reprised her role in the equally successful Fuller House. Earlier, she told Sam and me what she's up to, including whether she's kept in touch with Lori Loughlin. That's in our series, Favorite Stars of the 80s.
Candace Cameron Bure, welcome to DBL. Now, before we get to your fabulous clothing line, the 5th and final season of Fuller House debuted last year. But if you could keep playing DJ Tanner, and I'm crossing my fingers here, in a spinoff, would you?
Oh, yes. Of course I would. It's like a no-brainer question. I love playing DJ. She's such a huge part of my life, and I love the show. I hope we get to do a 3rd iteration of it.
Your TV dad, Bob Saget, recently came to your defense when you were described as fake. Why did someone say that? First off, I don't even care. And how did he chime in on your behalf?
There's lots of people that think I'm fake because I'm a generally happy and positive person and have a lot of joy. I've known Bob for 35 years. You know, we have a long-standing friendship, so of course it feels great, and I appreciated it very much. But he's like one of the dearest people in my life.
I know how close-knit you and your cast are on Full House. So that being said, have you checked in on Lori Loughlin since her release from prison, and how is she doing?
Yes, I've talked to Lori many times, and she's doing well.
So you're currently shooting your 10th Hallmark Christmas movie. Our viewers here know that I watch every single Hallmark movie. I'm obsessed with Hallmark movies, especially Christmas ones. Oh, boy. You also mentioned that with each movie, you've become more and more anxious about filming, even though you've been in the industry for God knows how long.
There's something about the Christmas movies because they're very special and people love them so much. They genuinely mean a lot to them during the Christmas season. And so when you have some of the most anticipated movies, it has been a layer of pressure that gets added every year to make sure the movie's going to be as good as the next one. This last year, it just kind of hit me. It's like, one day you feel like you're going to fall off that pedestal. And I'm like, and so what if I do? It's okay, Candace.
Talk to me about spiciness, all right? I'm about to be 9 years married, and you had a very spicy marriage, and it goes with your faith. And I just have to say,
give us some tips.
I need the secrets, and I want to know, because I think that's a really, really important thing for a marriage, to have a base in that you still are attracted to each other. Talk to me about that.
I think it's important. You got to keep it up. The longer that you're married, it's so easy to take each other for granted, or, like each other so well that you forget. So you have to keep it spicy. And I love that. That's my husband and I do. And that's why I think one of the reasons we'll be celebrating 25 years of marriage this year.
Wow.
That's incredible.
25 years of marriage.
I just can't.
I know. And Candace, I am a little bored in the bedroom. I'll be honest. I love my husband.
What about Mark?
I'm probably bored for him.
Oh,
he's probably over me
He's
and
not.
me not being
Mark
spicy and
loves
sassy.
you.
So
Just do something unexpected.
like what?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what?
Like what?
How graphic do you want me to be?
Yeah, girl.
There's something you don't do before, or don't. Maybe lay in a way that you don't normally
This is good.
gosh, I'm
lay or
blushing.
position yourself.
That is so good. I love this.
All right.
Woo.
All right, so
like, whoa, you'll surprise him.
before we let you go, we got to hear all about your newest venture into clothing and retail. Give us all the details.
So the Candace Cameron Bure clothing line is exclusively sold at QVC. We just debuted last month to a sellout, which was like mind-blowing. I was so happy. This little top, I have jeans on too. They're from the line. The clothing line has a lot of elastic waistbands, but they're not your mother's elastic waistbands, okay?
Don't forget, you guys, to check out all of Candace's brand on her website, CandaceCBure.com. Also, check her out on QVC. Candace, thank you so much for joining us and for being transparent.
Thank you so much, lady.
We just appreciate you. We really do. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Should kids get vaccinated for COVID? A new poll shows only 29% of parents will get their kid vaccinated right away. 32% want to wait to see how the vaccine is working. 15% say only if school requires it. And 19% say they definitely won't get their child vaccinated. CDC data shows less than 300 kids have died from the virus, far fewer than any other age group.
I think death is kind of a very short-sighted way of looking at this, because we do know that children can suffer from severe COVID disease.
Dr. Tina Tan is an infectious diseases physician at Lurie Children's Hospital in Chicago. Nationwide, at least 15,000 children have been hospitalized with COVID, according to the American Academy of Pediatrics.
We've seen kids as young as 3 months of age hospitalized with COVID in an intensive care unit on a ventilator, and they got the COVID from one of their family members.
Pfizer's trial tested their vaccine on more than 1,100 kids aged 12 to 15, and early results show none of them got COVID. Moderna gave their vaccine to more than 2,000 kids 12 to 17, and they've seen 96% efficacy.
It is the best way to protect them against COVID-19 disease.
Experts are also concerned about kids spreading the virus. The newest CDC data shows far more COVID cases among children than seniors.
They can give the virus to others.
Dr. William Schaffner is an infectious disease specialist at Vanderbilt University.
Remember, there are children and adults who are immunocompromised, who cannot either receive the vaccine or who will have a much diminished response. How do we protect our frail brothers and sisters? all the rest of us get protected.
And experts say the more COVID spreads, the greater the chance it could mutate and make the current vaccines less effective.
So we can verify, experts agree that children need to be vaccinated for COVID, not just to protect them, but to prevent further spread of the virus.
Let's protect as many children as we can, as quickly as we can. It works for measles. It works for polio. Why are we hesitant for COVID?
With your Verify, I'm Gabe Cohen.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Security Alert, sponsored by LifeLock. With the tax deadline just a few days away, it's important to remember that scammers are taking advantage. So criminals are using this extended deadline to create fear in people filing last minute. So right now there's a scam going around telling people their gas or electric service will be turned off if they don't file right away. This is completely fake. Also, be aware of emails claiming your tax refund is ready, only for it to be a malicious link. Remember, your refund won't ever come in the form of a link. One way you can spot the scam is by looking at the reply all in the email, and you'll notice the address isn't the official IRS.gov. When it comes to your financial assets, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock helps you and your digital identity keep secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. Smart. Yeah. We need to keep people away from scammers and from double-breasted large suits. That's what we learned on this show.
Hurtful shot. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look nice at homecoming.
Sorry. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
DBL.